Line counter reels. You got them? If you don't, you need them. If you're serious about trolling, especially in open water trolling situations, if you don't have a line counter reel, there's no practical way to know how much line you're letting out. The amount of line that you let out has everything to do with how deep things are going to run below the surface. And of course, we all know that depth is critical to catching fish. So without a line counter reel, you're kind of fishing in the dark. All line counter reels pretty much work the same. It's a mechanical counter, it's gear driven. And the way that functions is that every time the spool rotates, a certain number of clicks come off on the counter. And it gives you a reference of how much line you're let out, how much line you're actually letting out. Modern day line counters are actually referenced feet to feet. In other words, if there's 100 clicks on the clicker, that's 100 feet of actual line. How accurate are these things? Plus or minus 2 feet. That's pretty incredible. Now, if you've got line counters, I recommend that you get all the same size and brand that you prefer. Now, it doesn't make any difference what brand you prefer. Some people like Ford, some people like Chevys. But you need to have all the same line counter reels on your boat because different brands don't calibrate the same. So if you want to know exactly how much line you're laying out, you need to have the same line counter on each and every one of your rods, and you need to have the same line on them, and you have to have them filled to capacity. If you do those things, line counters work like a charm. Great investment, anywhere from $40 to $200, depending on what your budget can stand. Get yourself some line counters, you'll be glad you did. One of the things that we're doing a little bit differently is that we're fishing spinners with planer boards. A lot of people fish spinners simply by drifting, which is cool. I mean, that gets the job done too. See him down there. Look at him holding his depth. Oh, this is a nice fish. This is a nice fish. Oh my goodness, that is a beautiful fish. What a start.
Nice, Mark.
Welcome to spinner fishing with tadpoles. This little guy in my hand here is called a tadpole. It's a new product from Offshore Tackle. And essentially what it is, it's a diving planer. But it's not directional. It doesn't go left or right. It just goes straight down in the water. And we're using little inline planer boards to get them out to the side to get our outward coverage. And if you notice, it's got a little bit unique design to it. It's got a little snap here on the front, and it slides up and down. When it's in this position, the up position, it dives like a crankbait, okay? And when you hook a fish, it pulls to this position. Now it's inline, and you have very little resistance while you're actually fighting the fish. So the beauty of this is that it gets you a little bit deeper, but you don't have to feel the resistance or the weight while you're actually fighting the fish. Now, what do you fish on the back of these things? Well, today we're spinner fishing, and so I just tied on the back here an open water spinner rig from Bait Rigs, and these are tied on braided line, and you notice they got treble hooks on them, a single hook in the front and a treble hook in the back. If you're going to go after these big fish on Erie, you don't want to do the single hook thing. You want to do the treble hook because they're going to hook and hold these big fish much better. And then this harness is beautiful in that it's got a quick change clevis on it. We can change blades as we want. That's actually a Wolverine tackle blade on there right now. We'll switch those blades out probably 100 times today, just to try to see what's working the best. But the beauty of this thing is it dives like a crankbait. You can dial it right into the depth you want, put it behind a planer board, and you're good to go. You know, a whole new technique called tadpoles. I need some worms. It's time to rebait. This particular planer board is rigged with what we call a tattle flag. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Tattle flag is a spring-loaded flag that tells you when you got a bite. When you're going super slow, we're talking about spinner speed here, 1.5 miles an hour. It's real easy to accidentally drag a fish and not know it. So what I'm doing here, I just need to get a little slack between the two. When that flag goes down, we know we got a bite. Tattle flag, super simple to use and very effective for spinner fishing.